Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I'm gonna be trying to install this interior lighting kit for the Tesla Model Y. This is the full kit. It's not just the strip that you wedge into the OEM center console and the dash. This has all the replacement center console, all the trim, which is why the box is huge. So if you're watching this video, that means the installation probably went well because I have no idea how this is gonna go just now. It has so many wirings and it's very intimidating. So let's take a look at what's inside. So like I said, it has all these replacement trims and it has the light itself. And then on the bottom layer, we have all the wiring. This looks like the back of the seat and all these wiring. I don't even see a instruction, so wish me luck. Alright, so I think the way I'm going to go about is to start removing the panel that's going to get replaced. Let me pause here real quick. Before I go on and talk about what I'm going to do, let me explain. So in this video, I'm going to break it into two parts. The first part is going to be removing the OEM panels and trims and replacing it with the PimpMyEv kit. And then the second part is where it gets complicated because that's where we're going to run the connection, the wiring harness and stuff. So I've created this connection diagram to help you understand what connects to what and where it goes. And these are all color coded with the correct color connector, wiring, and so on and so forth. So and then here's a really rough diagram on how they actually route in the car. But I'll save this for part 2, and then right now let me jump back into the actual installation. And if you don't want to watch the installation, you could jump to the second part where I talk about the connection routing and stuff. So let's get back to it. So I wedged into here and it looks like I get fried. There you go. So this piece coming off. So it's the silver portion of this door panel piece that needs to be replaced. So I have to remove this piece off of the white piece. Looks like there's a bunch of these clips. Alright, so back to the heat gun method. I think it's actually better because it'll help expand the silver portion as well as melting down the white. So both is gonna kind of soften up at the same time. So I'm continuing to apply pressure to separate the two pieces while I heat this up. So let me show you. Alright, actually two more. Now two more. There you go. Last one. There you go. Whew. So I'm going to be heating up these tabs again, and then while it's melted, I'm going to use a plier to squeeze them together so it becomes thinner, so that way it can go through these slots. Alright, so now that the replacement piece is in, now I'm just gonna pop this back on. Alright, so this is on now. The new trim with the LED is in. Now we got these wires dangling. I think later on we're gonna be tucking it in like that with the connector too. So both sides already done. So the next piece I'm gonna replace is the dash pieces. This is one of the two, I believe. So this one's gonna go here. So I'm gonna have to remove the dashboard. So first thing, I'm gonna pop this guy open, and then I think you could just pull up. I'm gonna go to the other side and do the same thing. This piece and this piece is what we're replacing. We're gonna deal with the same thing here. We already know how to do it, so heat it up with a heat gun. Use a pry tool to dig it up. Okay, so this is the new piece. So notch it in here and align all these tabs. Alright, so the new trim with the LED light is now in. So we got a couple wires dangling. So again, these are going to be the connection points. Hopefully that's going to help us identify how to connect to the rest of the harness. So now I'm going to put this back in. So they have these clips. You just pull them with your hands and then go all the way around, and you should have this whole thing removed. Then we could have access to these bolts to remove this silver trim, and then we can remove this. All right, so underneath the charging pad, there is that connection. You see a little bit of the green wires right there. You slide it out. There you go. Just like that. You can set the center console off to the side. So you reach in back there, you pull this guy, and then push. Right, so now we get access to these bolts, and then we can remove this trim, replace that with the one with the LED within, and then replace this with that. All right, so I went and grabbed the piece that's gonna replace the OEM trim. This is it, and these bolts right here is Torx 20, the star bit, so Torx bit number 20. So I'm gonna remove what looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on each side, so 12 total, and then we'll get that swapped out. All right, so actually there were 7 on each side, so 14 screws total. So they're all removed. So now let's see if I could just lift this up or somehow pull it apart. There you go. Looks pretty fragile, so I'm gonna try my best to not break anything. Looks like you do have to like lift it up or wiggle a little bit to get it somehow unclipped. Alright, there we go. So I do see that there is no metal clips attached on this panel where there is on this. So maybe I have to swap this white piece off, or maybe just a metal clip. Maybe I could just remove this and transfer it over. There you go. So now I'm gonna put this guy onto the new panel, just like that, and I'll do that for the other two. So this panel, I think you just pull up like that. All right, and then there is a connection for the wire the card reader thing. So we do have to, it's right there. This little thing here you push and then you pull. And I think we have to swap this panel over to here. There's the screws. There's the screws, so we'll do that right now. Again, this is Torx 20 screws, and I can already see that we do have to swap these guys over as well, just like we did earlier with the silver panel. So just take these screws out, put it over, swap these over, and then we'll put these back on the center console. Alright, so now we're in the second part where I'm going to be talking about the connection, routing, and everything. So I start with the box right here. This is the main control box that has a wiring harness. It has 4 red connectors. So you're going to find 4 of these red connectors, and then I believe a white connector and a black connector. So you're going to connect this 1, 2, 3, 4 harnesses that has corresponding, I forgot if it's female or male end, but it's in red color connector. Connect all of them, doesn't matter which order. So each of these is gonna go to each corner of the car. So for example, this is the left main harness that's gonna go, it has a white connector and a black connector. So every time you see a black connector, it basically is where you want to connect it to a new separate harness. So in this case, left main harness is gonna feed the new light for the foot light, and then it will join a new connection, a new wiring harness that feeds the speaker light, the door pocket light, and the actual door pocket light and the actual door light. And this is the door light gets replacement with the one from the kit. And then this is the right main harness. It's almost identical with the left. The difference is it's got an extra black connector splits that joins the dash wiring harness. So the dash wiring harness has 3 connection in white, actually 4, 3 in white and 1 in black. Black's gonna join the right main harness, and then the left side of the steering column there are 2 connection to make. Yellow is the light, and then these dots are the connection to make. So it goes this way, connects to 2, and then the other one goes to the right side of the dash with 1 connection. Alright, and then the same thing like here, it goes to footwell light, which is a replacement light. You're gonna unplug the OEM connection, leave that abandoned because we don't need that connection as we run our own new wire, and you replace the light. Just store the OEM light away along with all your OEM trims that were replaced, and it will join a new set of harness that goes to the speaker, door pocket light, and the door light itself. One thing to note though is the speaker. I will try to show you a photo or video, but there is a little control box for the speaker as well. And then the 5-pin connection, I believe I did not plug that in. That's one thing I left unplugged, but I think that goes to a very long harness that was provided. So moving on to these 2 connection, one's gonna go to the left side. First connection you're gonna make is to the back of the front seat. There are 2 connections on each side, and then in between is a footlight, which by the way, at least for my car, Model Y 2020, it doesn't have a footlight from the factory, so it does provide a footlight for that area in the kit. So you gotta get creative to how to mount it. I tried to use double-sided tape, but it doesn't really stick well to the leather, whatever material it is. So I'll leave that up to you to get creative or not install it at all. It does make a difference though when you have lights coming from that area. It's pretty cool. So back to here. So 1 connection to the right of the back of the seat light, and then your footwell light, and then again the left side of the back of the seat light, and then black dot. So it gets connected to a new set of harness. For the Model Y, there is no pass through. You can't fish the wire into the door like you do here for the front. I'll show you a video of it for the front. And for the back, because the connection to the door is a wiring harness, whatever aftermarket that you have to fish wire into the rear door, it usually comes with a replacement, but this one doesn't. So at least for my kit, so I kind of have to run the wire exposed in a very subtle way, and it doesn't really bother me. But it basically does the same thing. You're gonna join this connection that feeds power to the door light and the pocket light. And the same thing for this side. As you may have noticed, I run everything to the left side of the center console. So I run everything here, and then for the last harness that we're talking about right now, I do route it under the vent and back to the right side and make the same connection as the left side, even into the door and stuff like that. So that's the 4 harnesses. And then for the main control, there's this cup holder control screen piece. It has a blue green wire with 1 or 2 black connection. Split, and this split is abandoned. I didn't get to use it. And then another wire that is a black and red with a black connector, and then 1 single wire that is yellow. There is a cigarette lighter power Y split, so it's a gray connection. So you want to unplug the blue connection that's from the factory, from the cigarette lighter port, plug the gray end in, and then plug the blue end into the other corresponding female or male end of the Y split, and then that will split 3 connections from this power source. So one is a white connector, which I can't find white connector that's corresponding to the same type of connector. So I left that abandoned, and then there's a black connector. Connect that to the main control box, that little small main control box that we first started with. And then there is another black connection that joins the red and black connection from the display panel. And lastly, this is what ended up feeding power to the screen, and the first time you see it turning on, it's this yellow wire that goes all the way to the back of the vent. You have to remove the rear vent that is directly behind the arm rest storage thing. Remove that, and then if you look in, you'll see a pink and blue wire with a, I believe, black connector. That is the OEM connection, so you do have to unplug that. And then this yellow connection also comes with some sort of a Y split, so you basically split it into this connection by using the Y split connector. So unplug the OEM connection, plug that OEM connection into this wire, and then on the other end of this wire you plug that back into the OEM connection, and that will feed power to the screen. And this gives power to the screen, and then this gives power to all the lights, so you'll start seeing your lights comes on and stuff like that. So that's how I went about connecting everything. You guys can take a screenshot of this, pause the video, whatever. So that's about it for the connection, and then I'll go back to the video and show you the finished product.